Let's fletch some arrows.
I can hear the sound, I can hear the beat. I can feel the bass, I can feel the heat. I can sing along, I can shout and scream. I can feel it taking over me.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Crossed Arrows Hunting here on YouTube. Just wanted to share with everyone my process for refletching arrows. I wanted to go from a straight fletch 3 vein to a left helical, sticking with 3 veins on here. So that's the way my arrows are clocking, is to the left, so I wanted to see what kind of difference I would get. And I think I got some great results. I think the helical really tightened up my groups. You can see here how I'm just cutting the old veins off and prepping the arrows for the new veins. Just use a razor blade box cutter type knife to cut the old veins off and to scrape the old glue off, and also use a sanding block to prep the surface. And maybe I went a little OCD on getting everything off, but I don't think you could be too careful on it. I really wanted a good surface to make sure that the veins stuck to the arrows really good. So I really took my time, paid close attention to detail, make sure I got all the old glue off, and made sure that it was a nice smooth surface. Use some acetone to clean them up, make sure we got all the dust and everything off of it. And you can see in the video these Black Eagle arrows that I'm using, the ends are painted white, and once all the veins were removed from it, it left the arrows kind of scratched up and everything. Not a big deal, but it did kind of make me think about using wraps, because I've been going down the rabbit hole of the total arrow weight, FOC, all that stuff, and when you really start seeing a difference. Because I've got another video coming up where I'm doing an experiment between 100 grain and a 125 grain field tip on these arrows, and if I was noticing a difference between point of aim, point of impact between the two weights. So stay tuned for that video. But in the difference, I mean, if you really break it down, you know, how many grains are in a, you know, what does that coincide to? So 15.4 grains per 1 gram, and then consequently 437 grains to an ounce. So when you kind of think of it that way, you know, again, when are we going to start noticing differences? So that's kind of what I wanted to see, because if you watch other videos, everyone weighing out things to get their arrows as close in weight as they can, weighing out veins to make sure everything's right, weighing out your tips or your broadheads, arrows, nocks, all this stuff to make sure everything is within even tenths of a grain, close to each other. And I love that stuff. I really like going into the intricacies and the details of that, and that just comes from my shooting background, because I was always looking from that perspective of a shooter for those 1% increments. That's going to make it better, because I always want to be the weakest link in whatever it is that I'm doing. I don't want my gear to be that weak link. So if it just takes a little bit of time and attention to detail for me to take out all the guesswork in the gear and the equipment, then that's just the way that I approach things. So you can see here I'm using the Arizona Easy Fletch, and I really like this fletching device because it allows me to do all 3 fletches at once. And it really was easy to use. Quick learning curve on that thing. Just pay attention and making sure that all the veins are set correctly. And I also use the Arizona glue and the prep pin, and I have not had any issues with the veins coming off. Even had one of the arrows penetrate the target almost fully, and absolutely no damage to the veins. So I think I've found a great combination in the AAE stuff. Not Arizona, I think I said Arizona, but the AE stuff. And you see I use the AE Max Stealth veins. Here I'm just cleaning up any glue that came out from the vanes, any excess here with a Q-tip, and then go into doing the tips and the tails of the vanes. I've seen some people argue that it makes a difference, some people saying that it doesn't. Again, I'm going to err on the side of caution, because arrows ain't cheap, right? But you can see it's really a pretty quick process with that Arizona Easy Fletch. There's the finished product right there. A nice helical on those, and I'm really happy with the way that they turned out. Here you can see going through the shot, through some testing here, and I was just putting the sight right there in the middle between the two dots, just going for a general group. This is at 30 yards, and so again, really happy with the way that these turned out. So I think this is what I'm going to keep using. Yeah, so this group was at 30 yards, and I think that's pretty good. So again, like I said, I'm really happy with the results that I got from this left helical out of the Arizona Easy Fletch. So I kind of think I've found the formula that I'm going to keep using. Again, with the AE Max Stealth vanes set at that left helical, it's really working pretty good for me. In the video that I got coming out where I'm testing these further, you'll see some 50, 60, and 65 yard shots. And then hopefully soon, when I get the new sight on the bow, I've got a sight coming from HHA, and we can stretch this thing out to 100 yards. Hopefully. That'd be really cool to see that. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Check out the Crossed Arrows Hunting Podcast and Instagram. Really appreciate all the support.